We continue to be blessed here in Hopkins County. Lumen announced last week that we're going to be able to start our mining here in Hopkins County. They've got 400 acres over here near the old location of the coal mine, and we will be mining that heavily throughout 2015. So that's good news, that's jobs, and that's good news for Hopkins County. On the other hand, Mount Pleasant, or the Mount Pleasant site that they've been at for years, they're slowing it down as they're getting ours going again. And so we're just really thrilled with this. So they've been working out there some throughout the fall and started some in the summer, but it's going to be heavily mined for 2015 and hopefully sometime thereafter.
Yeah,
that's good news.
So sometime early in the year that started.
Yes, and again, they're working out there some right now, so it's just good news for Hopkins County.
Yeah. What's the item on the agenda? Is it just something that tell us about that?
It's just a change slightly to our contract with them, letting us know about it. It's just a license agreement. It's nothing real major, but it's something we have to run through court for them. Of course, we want to help them all we can because, again, it helps all of us.
Yeah. Also, coming up on your agenda on Monday, something dealing with I would call a legend in Hopkins County, Mike Pribble.
Right, and a lot of the younger folks might not remember, but I do remember Mike Pribble. He's actually kind of a stalwart of Hopkins County. At one time, back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe not into the 70s very far, he was kind of a star and nationally. He was a roper and a cowboy and Madison Square Garden, things like that. He was very famous. He was from the Hopkins County area, and we had a July 4th rodeo every year. And I remember the rodeo because my family and I moved here in '67. The rodeo was still going, and it was really a big deal here in Hopkins County. Truthfully, I'd love to see that renewed sometime, that the kids, our children, get excited about the rodeo. I took my grandkids to the finals recently. They had a time, and they'd never been to a rodeo like that before. And so anyway, it's pretty awesome. We're going to honor Mike Pribble with a plaque in the new Equine Center out there at the Civic Center. And actually, we're going to make this part of the Commissioners Court meeting where we're going to honor Mike Pribble and his memory, as well as his family, his wife, and his daughter Kathy, and their granddaughter Meredith Cadell actually is our Chamber of Commerce leader. And so I have in my hand here the proclamation that will go on the plaque, and it's just really going to be good. And it just talks about on this site, and that is the same site where the rodeo arena is now. That is the Equine Center is now, was where the rodeo was. And so in 1938, it says Mike Pribble constructed the rodeo arena that lasted 43 years, and over 20,000 people attended annually, if you can imagine that. And then he upgraded it to be Texas' largest all-steel 6,000 seat arena in 1954. He was a trick roper and nationwide actually for 4 decades. And so, in fact, I'm trying to imagine this because I don't think I ever saw this with my own eyes, but it says including standing on his head while roping 8 galloping horses. Isn't that something? Performing the Texas skip for 200 yards up and down the arena, vaulting stunts off the back and side of his horse, suicide drags, and many other standing tricks on horses. He was recruited by Will Rogers for Western movies, taught the Apache Bells to trick rope, and the 4th of July Rodeo provided entertainment for Hopkins County residents and visitors nationwide for generations. So it's a big deal to us. It's part of our history, and we're going to put a plaque up to memorialize Mike Pribble and all he did for Hopkins County.
Very good. That'll be a big moment coming up on Monday.
Yes, and the Commissioner Court. And by the way, the public is always welcome to our Commissioners Court meetings, 9 o'clock on the 2nd and 4th Mondays. And so we want to encourage people to be a part of their government. And so anyway, and y'all be welcome as well if you can be there. I know you're busy.
Well, thank you.
All right.
You got another jail update. We can see from as we go up to the sheriff's office and glance in that direction, walls appear to be rising from the ground now.
Right, and we're really excited about that. And actually, that is the south end. It's where the walls are going up. And I want to encourage the public to come by and see the progress. The rain has hampered us quite a bit. We're 17 days behind, working days behind right now. They're going to catch up a lot of that next year when they get indoors and be able to work every day. But the rain has been tough on us, but the walls are going up, and that's a good sign the prisoners will be housed on the south end, and the administrative offices will be on the north end. So if you can imagine that, and it's going to be, so we're working the south end first, got those walls going up. We're going to be trying to put in more concrete. Hopefully, by the middle of January, all the concrete will be down. Again, there's all of these temperatures have to be right to pour concrete and all of that. But if all of the things work together, by the middle of January, we should have all of the concrete down, and that will keep the workers working every day.
I would imagine Sadalco knows, what December's like in Texas, and that's not going to be a prime time to try to be making up days, but there'll be some days, when you get into the spring and that sort of thing, where, they can really begin to make some major moves on that 17-day deficit.
Yes, I don't see how people up north ever get anything done in the winter, because there are certain temperatures that you can pour concrete and all of those things. But here in Texas, our weather's so unpredictable that in the middle of January we may have our air conditioners on, but on the other hand, we could have some very, very cold weather, and they won't be able to pour concrete at that time. But they're trying to keep everyone busy by working around the project. But the workers really haven't missed a complete day in some time, in spite of the rain. You'll see workers out there trying to get everything done they can. We're making progress, and we're still shooting toward October to move prisoners into it.
Are they used to working with people that have weekly updates like we have? Is that unusual for Hopkins County, or is that a standard thing that they do?
Actually, that's not standard. We have seen some of the challenges that some other projects have had with other groups. So when we went into this, we said we want weekly meetings. And they said, well, that's more often than most people do. And we said, well, we want to be sure that everything's going right. Actually, I have a meeting posted every week. The entire Commissioners Court often comes in and gets the updates and asks questions and makes sure that we're staying with them and we know what's going on, because this is something that we don't have a consulting agency. We have the architect, we have the builder, and we have the court, and we're right on top of it to make sure that they don't miss anything. Not that we know anything about construction necessarily, but we ask a lot of questions. Yeah. I think those questions need to be asked, and that allows us to be able to report to the public when things are going well.